Hello listeners everywhere. Welcome to the Archive of Audio Antiquities, a voyage into the vault of wonders on the wireless. In a moment, Simon Exton and Ken Moss will be here to speak to you.
Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome back to the Archive of Audio Antiquities. I'm Ken Moss.
I'm Simon Exton.
This time we're listening to the 2000 Doctor Who audio adventure, The Shadow of the Scourge. First released in October 2000, this was written by Paul Cornell and starred Sylvester McCoy as the Seventh Doctor, with Sophie Aldred as Ace and Lisa Bowerman as Bernice Summerfield. The Pine Hill Crest Hotel in Kent is host to three very different events: a cross-stitch convention, an experiment in time travel, and the summoning of the Scourge. The Seventh Doctor, Bernice and Ace find themselves dealing with a dead body that has come back to life, a mystical symbol that possesses its host, and a threat from another universe that is ready for every trick the Doctor's got up his sleeve. This time, has the Doctor gone too far?
We call out to you, Great Orm, across the void between the solar systems.
You've felt my presence in the past, Annie.
Across the space between the stars.
In dreams. In moments of tiredness.
Across the gap between the universes.
Ground floor, horror, tragedy, and mysterious death.
We know you are watching us.
I think we're just about ready for the demonstration to begin.
Enter us. Communicate through us.
What will you be doing while we're staking out the opposing belief systems of the human psyche?
I'll be indulging my penchant for cross-stitching.
Instantaneous travel throughout the universe, even between this universe and others, will become a reality.
With hilarious results.
You know a lot about this stuff.
Yeah, too much.
He has arrived! Our leader has materialized on this planet!
Nice to arrive sensibly for once.
This is the Time Lord?
I prefer just Doctor.
I have never seen a Time Lord before. You are complicated.
Oh well, I don't like to boast.
You have different facets, different faces.
As do all my people.
This is beyond any experiment I've ever conducted.
Run! Cry out and run! We are the Scourge.
As William Shakespeare once said to me, come and have a go, if you think you're hard enough.
You picked this, Dr. Exton.
Yes, because I remember really enjoying it at the time that it came out.
Have you revised that opinion?
A little.
Yes.
I still enjoyed it. I really liked the New Avengers. I do really like the New Avengers, but I really liked the New Adventures when they were coming out, and I really used to look forward to them every month. And whatever its flaws, and we will come on to them, and it does have flaws, this really bought into the feeling of the New Adventures. Absolute standout, without a shadow of a doubt, is Benny.
Yeah, I agree.
But, you know, she's being written for by the bloke who created the character in the first place. He will know her characterization inside out and backwards. She is superbly played. She is given easily all of the best lines. Ace was in the middle of her techno warrior, peeled into PVC, adolescent boys, wankfest personification, which was never my favourite iteration of the character. And honestly, I don't think Sophie Aldred sells that well. I don't get the impression of this hard-bitten Dalek killer.
No, I missed out on the New Adventures until much later in the day, so this to me was not familiar ground. There's certainly a different flavour to it, but I have to say that coming to them later on, I can see what happened to Ace and that she became this, she had a break from the Doctor. It was 2 or 3 years or something, and in that time she became this hard, battle-scarred version of Ace in, as you say, tight PVC, ripping the tops off Daleks, gun-toting and much harder-faced.
But that's not what we get here.
That's not what we get here. What we get here is Sophie Aldred very badly playing it, and I don't think that entirely can be levelled at her, because the dialogue in this isn't always great. I say that with the gentlest of steps, knowing that it's Paul Cornell.
Why are we sitting here having tea?
The professor said 15 minutes. It's only been 14. So shut it, okay?
Okay.
I think the dialogue is always great for the character of Benny, and this comes across much more as a Benny audio that the Seventh Doctor and Ace are guesting in.
That's not a bad appraisal, yes. In fact, I will say this much about Bernice. Lisa Bowerman had to be sort of persuaded by a friend, I think, to play Bernice. She'd no idea who the character was. She has completely, over the past 20, nearly 30 years, made it her own. And she's perfect.
I can't go on. I can't keep living like this. Game over, Bernice. Game over. It's time for the reset button.
Doctor, keep back from the edge.
Time for me to
Will you stop struggling? You'll send us both over.
You said you liked who I'll become.
But I don't want to meet him yet. I don't want to lose you.
He's calling me Benny. The darkness down there. The darkness at the heart of my own mind.
You can't give in to it, Doctor. You're loved by millions of people. People you'll never meet. You haven't told us what Ace needs to know. You cannot give up.
But I have to.
As you say, she is the standout in this audio. Absolutely superb. And I really buy into her character. I think Sylvester McCoy puts in a very good performance as the Seventh Doctor.
But it's a background performance for him. I get they're doing the whole master manipulator behind the scenes and everything, but he disappears for big chunks of the time and he's unconscious for big chunks of the time.
He does, and when he comes into it, now I'm going to say this quite tongue-in-cheek because there are some really sort of off-the-scale performances in this that I think only he could have got away with on audio. But Sylvester McCoy, for me, is best when he is that very dark, brooding, death comes to time, softly spoken version of the Seventh Doctor. I think he's far more commanding when he's brooding, and there's a lot of that in this.
Yes.
Big brain you have here. Goes on for miles. Nice high ceilings, too.
I like to keep an open mind.
Doctor, did you know that Annie was pregnant?
No.
It's just... I really don't want to see her hurt. Her or the baby.
Indeed.
Because, you see, it occurs to me that she's the focal point for all this. The link. The place where, if someone was going to put pressure on this situation to change it, to play it like a game of chess, she just seems to be in harm's way.
Yes.
Oh, will you give me a straight answer for once? Do you or do you not have a plan that's hiding underneath this plan? Are you going to turn around and say at the end of all this, I couldn't have told you. Your reactions had to be the real thing. Which I've never believed, incidentally, because we've acted our socks off in front of you often enough. I just think you enjoy saving us all at the last minute, like you're the conjurer, with the rabbits and there's a hat of some kind.
The situation would be the hat.
My point exactly. So just tell me.
No. This time the audience have seen through all the conjurer's tricks.
And we're up to our necks in hat.
Deep hat.
Not feeling at all sheepish about that, then?
At the other end of the scale, there's a lot of audio gurning, for want of a better expression, and a lot of shrieking. And he pulls that off very well as well, because there's some metamorphic scenes in this where it's clearly very unpleasant. I can't see any other Doctor pulling that off, if I'm honest.
They've tricked me.
Doctor, what's that on your hand?
It's that shape. The pentagram.
The shadow of the Scourge.
Tell me this is all part of the plan.
Not anymore. I took it on to make them feel secure. I thought they'd be banished before they could activate it. But now...
It's glowing! Doctor, what does it mean? What's going to happen to you?
It means...
We have to save ourselves.
Please! Please! Help me!
I think any of them could put in a credible performance to the Metamorphosis because they're all excellent actors. But yes, it is very definitely in his wheelhouse. The whole evil from beyond the universe, almost Cthulhuoid, that's very much a New Adventures shtick. And I think worked well. I think this has the feel of a New Adventures about it, but a New Adventures where it's a Benny story with the Doctor and Ace not really there to do very much. Well, that's a bit unfair. They are there, but they're very definitely second and third leads with Benny front and centre.
Agreed. I do think that Sophie Aldred's poorly served by this one.
Yes.
It's not a performance that she's been asked to turn in before, and as such, Yeah, he just comes across as Ace doing a lot of shouting and bravado.
And she gets herself deafened, so she has to do the shouting bit, which hampers her performance because she has to do it all at volume 13.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of the plot.
I'm not taking a pop at Sophie Aldred for this. She can only work with the material she's given, but I don't think this was really well suited to her.
Yeah. And she'd spent a big chunk of her career by this point playing Ace as TV Ace. And then suddenly she was asked to turn that portrayal on its head. Still the same character, but loads of years more experience. And there you go. This thing that you have really honed over the last however many years, just chuck it out the window and do the same thing, but very different. I don't blame her for not putting in the greatest performance of her career because I think it was an almost impossible ask.
Yeah, it's one of those I think works better in print. It looks all right on the page until it's actually vocalised.
Yeah, and it does feel like a New Adventures.
Well, you're far more familiar with the New Adventures than I am.
Yeah, I'd started with Time Worm and read every single one of them. It wasn't until Iris fucking Wild Time that I stopped reading the monthly books. And as I say, that was dating right the way back to the first Time Worm. So I was really invested with this in a way that I never completely was with Big Finish.
Well, there's quite a psychological element to this. It's not just aliens from another dimension trying to take over.
Yeah, that was all a bit cliched. The whole, we're living in the darkness in your mind and we're responsible for depressive thoughts. And yeah, been done a lot of times before. But as I say, it's almost as though this was kind of a pastiche to those classic Cthulhu Mythos plots. So that I don't have a particular problem with.
In itself, I didn't. I think there was a lot of introspection from the Doctor that we probably could have done without. The Doctor's one of those characters that the less you know, the better it is. And there was a lot of very direct, on the nose, I do this to elicit a response sort of thing. This is why I behave the way I behave. Didn't particularly care for that, if I'm honest, because it's too harsh a spotlight. If that really is how he behaves, putting people in danger to elicit a certain behaviour, we don't need to hear that. And we certainly don't need to hear him rip himself apart for it, because he's supposed to be this, certainly in the seventh incarnation, this master manipulator. So of course that's what he's going to do, but the elements of self-doubt I could have done without. And certainly by the time we get to part 4 of this story, there is an awful lot of, we love each other, pull together, look to the small things, and those are the most important things. We love each other, we love you, and you love me, and that's who we are. And oh no, God, that was the heart of the story. It just went on way too long.
Yeah.
I don't remember feeling that way about this when it was first out. I've not heard this for quite a few years, actually.
No, neither have I. And the whole saved by the innocence of pregnancy, a very old-fashioned cliche by the time this came along.
I wasn't so much looking at it as cliches as just almost saccharine in we defeat this alien with love and kindness and how much we pull together. It snapped out of that when the Doctor comes back and he just, again, very calmly, very in a low measured voice, just deconstructs the aliens and beats them that way in a much more condensed version of that. But we had a good half episode of all this emotional, heightened, saccharine stuff that I could really do without.
And I'll tell you what else I could do without. Some of the guest cast.
Now, would you be having anybody in mind in particular? A certain Australian, perhaps?
I was going to say there were several that were dreadful, but then... yeah, that wasn't good.
Michael Piccarilli, God bless the man. Now, I've had to look him up because I don't know who he is. Because again, over the past 25 years, my audio critique has sharpened somewhat, but oh my goodness me. That was dreadful. That's one of the worst performances I've heard on audio.
Let me guess, was he a pretty gay boy by any chance?
I believe so, yes. A star at some point prior to this in Home and Away, although not a major one. So I suspect someone at Big Finish Towers had thought, He's rather nice. We'll have him in one of our big finishes. And,
Yes, because he/she looks pretty, has always worked well for casting on the radio.
yeah.
Paula?
Words are failing me at this point. That was a staggeringly bad performance. Oh, my.
Mr. Hughes, where are you going? The settings seem to be locked on some distant source. This is completely beyond anything. Oh well, run with it, Michael. Excuse me, everyone. Mr. Hughes and I have been running some tests, and he set the machine for a specific task. If any of you have any technical questions from now on, I'm afraid we'll only be able to talk about them on a theoretical basis. Oh dear. I hope it's supposed to be doing that.
As they were recording it, the director must have been... Fuck. Who was the director of this? Which poor bastard got lumbered with this one? Gary Russell.
Yes, lean a bit closer to the microphone, Lovey. Undo a few buttons. That'll improve your performance.
His was the one that stood out. I didn't particularly think any of the others were that terrible.
No, but there weren't any that were that good either. Is there anybody in this that you could say put in a good performance?
Lennox Greaves always puts his all into it. He was Brian Hughes, the northern one.
Yeah, but he wasn't particularly good. Might have been enthusiastic, but it was pretty much Northern hard-nosed by the numbers.
Yeah, fair enough. I will say this much. The Scourge leader was played by somebody called Peter Trapani. I don't know who that is. But there were some good bits with the Scourge, particularly where they're talking to Annie and they open up a rip in the dimension. That bit I thought was quite nice. It's always stuck in my mind from when I first heard it. I thought it was a nice little scene.
Oh no! No!
That sensation you feel is what happens when you see one of your betters. When you see any 8-dimensional being, your mind is opening, Annie. And as it does, the gate you so unconsciously opened is getting wider. Wider and wider, until it lets in...
Please, I can't!
I am here, Demi-Leader. We are two. We will hide within these bodies. Give them back to their hosts. We will emerge when the leader has been...
Summoned. What?
Oh yeah, that was quite nicely... Kind of reminded me of Casting the Runes with Carswell.
You've got the drop on me again there, I'm afraid.
Casting the Runes, classic M.R. James story. It was the basis for the film Night of the Demon, and it was adapted in 1979 with Jan Francis as the heroine, but with Ian Cuthbertson as the manipulative magician Carswell. And he gave that kind of feeling of, I'm an evil fucker and I don't care.
Ian Cuthbertson, God love the man. Oh, I miss him. I wish he'd had some audio roles. But yes, evisceration, we're only going to go one way with this. Let's rate this in earworms.
This is the song that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends.
Time, I've got to be honest, has not been kind to this with me. I didn't not enjoy it. I just thought that it was a lot more flawed than I remember. It's certainly not the worst Big Finish, but it's quite average with the benefit of hindsight. I'm going to give it 7, I think. What about you?
I think it's a fun story. I think it absolutely fits the era of the New Adventures, but the New Adventures in themselves were often very flawed. I think that there is one brilliantly written and performed main character. There is one averagely written and well-performed main character. And there is one averagely written and, no disrespect to a poorly performed main character. And there was a whole load of incidental characters that were varying shades of mediocre to awful. But it is a bit nostalgic. I did quite enjoy it. I like that whole extra-universal Cthulhuid entity horror. So I'm going to give it a 6.
It's very kind for you.
I can be.
And they'll continue singing it forever just because
It's time for Podcast of the Week. Dr. Exton, what are you pulling out of your box of tricks this week?
Well, I've kind of run out of Doctor Who podcasts for now. So I'm going to conjure up something that fits with Gay Boys in Latex. It is a 10-part, very gay comedy sci-fi audio drama about malicious poppers that turn people straight. It's a thing called The Hookup.
What the
It is really very, very funny and entertaining and well worth a listen to.
Given the precise moment that poppers are usually used, that's not the best time to turn straight, is it?
Well, it depends who you are and where you're using the poppers. So if you're talking about getting shagged, then yeah, you're absolutely right. But an awful lot of people use it as a dance floor thing. I've no idea whether you still do, because I haven't been into a nightclub in a huge number of years, and God, it would take something dramatic to get me back into one. But yeah, you always used to see people on the dance floor with poppers.
Well, you learn something new every day. I thought they were primarily used as a relaxative.
There are a lot of people who do that, and some people just like the buzz that you get from them. But I can appreciate that you're probably not the world's greatest aficionado of gay dance floors. So,
funnily enough, they've passed me by.
Yeah, you're not missed anything. Specifically not at our age.
On that note, next time, it sticks out half a mile, whether you've got poppers or not. I've wanted to do this for quite a while.
Yep, me too. I can't remember the last time I listened to it. I remember really enjoying it, but I remember really enjoying Shadow of the Scourge, so we'll see what it lands up with.
So yes, the radio sequel to Dad's Army will be listening to the entire thing, letting you know what it's like.
Yes, yes, yes.
As ever, thank you for paying us a visit in the archive. We'll be back next month. Ta-ta.
Bye now.
The Archive of Audio Antiquities featured Simon Exton and Ken Moss, and the announcer was Jenny at Blue Box 99. All featured soundtracks are the property of their respective producers, and no infringement of copyright is intended. Title music was by Edward White, and the programme was produced by Maverick Productions. For more information, please visit maverickproductionsuk.blogspot.com or find us on social media.